Welcome, welcome, welcome to On Fire to Inspire. This is your host, Aleigha The Purpose Midwife. I want to thank y'all so much for joining us this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday evening. You could have been anywhere else doing anything else, but you chose to spend it with us. And for that, we're totally grateful. We do not take it for granted. Y'all, I'm so excited about tonight's topic, Crown for Purpose. But before we hop in to the interview, I want to thank our sponsors, y'all. You see me rubbing my hands. I'm putting on one of my favorite of my many favorites. This is the pear, Pineapple Paradise. These are coming from sensationalgalore.com. You can actually go to sensational-galore.com or go to the Etsy page. They have about 22 women's fragrances, about 6 men's fragrances. They do have non-scented as well as a baby powder scent as well. Oh my goodness, just heavenly and divine. So that's sensational-galore.com or check out their Etsy page at Sensational Galore. Then we also have Dance with Mina, Mena. If you are into your wellness, trying to hit some of those wellness goals, we have Zumba and line dance on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go on Facebook and look up Dance with Mina, Mena. Like her page, and then when she has classes, ask for the link. She'll shoot you the link, and if you're not local, you can dance virtual. Then we have mombizboss.org. Mombizboss.org is multiple operational managers. If you are an aspiring entrepreneur or currently an entrepreneur and you want to connect with like-minded women, you want to connect with these women. I tell you, they have brunches and meetups and just have a great, great time. But thank you again for joining us. A great evening to you, Pastor T, and happy birthday. Hey, Miss Money Management Matters. Hey, everybody, as y'all are tuning in from YouTube and Facebook land, I don't see anybody over in LinkedIn land responding quite yet because I can't really see on all of those platforms unless you say hello. Then we have my big brother and pastor, Apostle Ricky D. Surrett, who is a John Maxwell certified trainer and teacher, and he's also an author. He's the author of Leadership Inside Trajectory. That is a book. If you are a leader in any capacity, you need to put that in your arsenal because you need it. You need it. You need it. And then, last but not least, if you don't have any of my books, which I'm not sure why you wouldn't, but you have a learning book just for me, which was the children's book, Teacher Foundational English and Spanish. So if you have a little one or a little one in your family or you know someone with a little one, y'all check it out on Amazon or onfiretoinspire.com. We have On Fire to Inspire the book. We got Wake Me Up in the Midnight Hour, Give Me Words to Encourage and Empower His People. And then the last 2 books, we have a couple of e-books out there, but the last 2 books that I released was an affirmations coloring book as well as the affirmations journal. So thank you. Y'all go so into my ministry by supporting. Again, that's on onfiretoinspire.com or go out and check out on Amazon. I need y'all to do me a favor. You need that children's book for your grandson, girl. I got you. I see you. I got you. All right. So, y'all, I need y'all to do me a favor though. I need y'all to either tag somebody, hit share, because we're gonna get started on this interview. I'm so excited. One of my sisters from another mother we've never met, but we connected by the spirit, and we were like, oh my God, we have so many similarities. But anyway, I want to welcome Shakela Matthews. Welcome to On Fire to Inspire. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, Dr. Lorinda. Dr. Lorinda said she's over in LinkedIn land listening. So I said, I ain't heard nobody from LinkedIn. So she was like, hey, I'm over here. So thank you so much for joining us, Shakela. I want you to introduce yourself because you are new to our platform. And so some people may know you from the other platforms, but I want you to introduce yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Well, first of all, thank you for having me.
Well,
I am Shakela Matthews. I am originally from Atlanta, Georgia, but now living in Texas. I am a wife. I am a mother. I've been in the military for 24 years now, and I am the founder of Divinely Restored and author of two books. One is Divinely Restored, Her Journey to Wholeness, and the other is Beautiful Brokenness. Yes, so that's just a little bit about me, and I'm excited for this conversation.
yes, me too, me too. So the topic crowned with purpose. What does that mean to Shakila?
Ooh, that's a good one. Um, I believe this topic is so personal to me because I know what it feels like to be stuck in cycles. Those cycles of fear and doubt and not feeling like you're enough and you're not worthy, and realizing at some point that you have to make a decision. Am I going to stay stuck in this place, or am I going to step out and do what God has actually called me to do?
Yes, absolutely. Um, Lisa said she knows you from the Leadership Experience Tour.
Oh,
Powerful speaker.
Jesus.
Yes, yes, yes. So we're gonna look. We're gonna hop on into this topic tonight because
Let's
this
do it.
topic is like we had so many confirmations on Esther and the crowning of purpose and the walking in your purpose and rising up to that place. And so you were just saying something about being tired of the cycles and the things of the past. What made you delve into being able to help someone else? Wanting to do this to help someone else.
Oh, wow. I would say it first started because, well, many of you may not really know what my story is, but I was twice divorced, now happily married. And in 2020, God called me to leave my home of Atlanta, everything I knew, and moved to California for work. And in doing that, I left behind my husband, my kids, and family, friends, everything. And I was out there, just what I call my Nineveh, just out there, just like listening and trying to get guidance and direction from God. And so while being there, that's when God told me to write the first book, Beautiful Brokenness. And it was because so many women, I've coached women all over the world. I've mentored women all over the world, and just talking to them, some of the same cycles that I see are lack of worth. We keep holding on to relationships and things that don't serve us, and we don't take the time to properly heal. And so when God told me to write the book, um, I did a survey and asked, women what were their challenges, and all of them pretty much came up with the same thing. And so, in women feeling comfortable talking to me, even since I was a little girl, I've been called to women and called to help women. Like, even when I was like 20 years old, I took a young lady in who had gotten kicked out of her home, and I didn't know nothing about raising no child, but she was a teenager at that and pregnant. And so just talking to women and seeing what their challenges and struggles are, it it made me seek God more and see what He wanted me to do. And he told me He wanted me to work with women and to help them heal. I received a word that I am a generational curse breaker. And so, in that, we have a lot of stuff, like I stated earlier, that we don't take the time to heal from. We want to attack things at surface level, and I like to get to the root cause of things, because until you treat that root, it's like planting soil. You layer at a time over some corrupted soil. It's never going to produce any great fruit. So that's where my start began.
Okay, okay, yes, ma'am, absolutely. Now we were talking about you were sharing with your ladies to tune in, we're going to talk about helping them rise
Mhm.
past those challenges and step into the transformation. How can we help them say, you know what? I hear you, Shakela. I hear what y'all saying, but I don't know where to start because that's all I know. I know the toxicity. I know the craziness. I know that's all I know. So how can we, well, let's delve into this thing.
Okay. Um, I would say that we all every relationship and whether it's a friendship, relationship, marriage, whatever it may be, we are the core of that relationship. We can't have relationships without us, and our first relationship is with ourselves. So when we are trying to transform or change, we have to do a reflection, and reflection makes us deal with the past. We have to reflect on the cycles and patterns that we have repeated, or that continue to repeat themselves. Have you ever heard the saying, when it comes to dating, you dating the same person but they just look different, right? Because you attracting the same thing, and that's with any type of relationship. So we have to start with us. Until we heal us, we can't benefit anybody else, and we have to take that time to do that reflection to see where what is causing me to repeat these cycles, what is causing me to have the mindset of whatever it is that you may be trying to heal from or transform from. It could be it we're gonna just say business in a sense, and we a lot of times we have a mindset of poverty, and we have to go back and dig and see why do we have that mindset, right? I'll give you an example. So we're talking about being crowned for purpose, and since you brought up Esther, I'm gonna bring up Esther, right? So Esther's story, I love her story so much because it's one of boldness and divine positioning. Like, she was placed in the palace, but she was placed there not just for her benefit. So everything that we go through, our story is not for us, it's to help the next woman, right? Or the next man, or the next generation, right? And she had a choice. Like, she could have taken the easy route, which a lot of times we like to take the easy route, because we say it's too hard and too this. She could have stayed quiet, she could have stayed comfortable, all the things, right? She could have, but no one blamed her for, and no one would have blamed her for protecting herself, right? But she knew that she was called for something much bigger than that. And sometimes our calling and our purpose, and even reflecting when we're trying to transform, we have to get out of our comfort zone, because growth is not comfortable, right? Because you're changing. So you have to accept it, and you have to be willing to go through the process.
Ooh, girl, you said a mouthful right there. You said, first of all, you said get out the comfort zone. Then you said accept it and be willing to go through the process. And that's what people don't want to do.
Mhm,
They don't
mhm,
want to go through that process.
mhm.
it
It's real.
is. It's a journey. It is real. Uh, girl, you speaking out on that comfort zone. That's true. That is true. She said, wow. Pastor T said, Evangelist T said, wow, growth is not comfortable. That
Mhm.
is so true. That is so true.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
when you think about and you hear different sayings, and you're like, you don't hear any millionaire that said they flourished in a comfort zone. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's true.
Nope, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes, yes. And that was one of the things the Lord told me. I had to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Lisa says, and sometimes you got to get out of your hometown.
That's it.
God will
Yes, you
tell us
do.
to go, but we don't want to go. That is so true, honey. Ooh, yes, we can
Get out.
relate to that one. We can relate. We can relate.
I love it. I love it. Yep. I,
Yes.
I agree with Lisa said. Sometimes you have to get out of your own town. I had to leave mine. Like, it's all a part of the process. And a lot of times we are so fearful at doing that. But God's word tells us to step out and be bold. He said, I commanded you to be strong, right? He says that we shouldn't be fearful. And we are sometimes so scared to do anything. Fear is real, but guess what? purpose is also, right? So you got to decide, just like Esther had a choice, you got to decide whether you're going to take the easy route or whether you're going to go through these challenges that God is allowing you to go through so that you can grow and you can transform, you can change, and you can become the person that God called you to be and walk boldly in your purpose. Period.
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 Exclamation point. Now, as you were saying, there's so many women that, because of the challenges and the situations and the incidents and just life,
Mm-hmm.
many of them lack self-worth. And so, how would that? How would you speak to that in reference to faith and that journey and the walk of moving from, okay, I know that was a cycle. However, I got to start loving me so that I can move
Mm-hmm.
forward. How would you move in that?
As far as self-worth is concerned, first of all, you got to remember that God chose you, right? God made each of us unique and he did it for a purpose. Like, God is so intentional, right? He doesn't do anything without intent behind it. So a lot of times we lose or we lack self-worth because we've either allowed negative seeds to be planted in our lives, or negative seeds were planted in our lives when we were younger and we maybe have been told we weren't good enough, or you act like such and such, when that's not really a compliment. You're they're saying those things to cause further hurt. Or you could have been a relationship where you lost yourself. Just like, for example, myself, when I was in those marriages, I lost my sense of self. I lost who I was as Shakela. Yes, I was a wife and a mother, but I lost who I was, right? And part of finding your self-worth, like I said, you have to remind yourself of the truth. Whether it's, you got to take a sticky note, y'all. I keep some sticky notes. You got, whether it's taking a sticky note and you write out what you're gonna put and put it on that mirror, so you can remind yourself every day that God chose you and God made you unique for a reason. So you don't have to compare yourself to anybody. You don't have to compare yourself to whoever is on social media or what have you. And then you have to take the time to do the work on you. And it's not easy. It's not easy. You got to, like I said, you have to go back to that foundation, right? You have to go back, because you can't build anything that's in self-worth, relationships, anything on a shaky foundation. It's just not going to work. So you got to go back, right? And make that foundation strong. And that's pouring into yourself. Start doing things that you like to do. Remind yourself, speak affirmations over your life. Go to God's word. God's word is the truth. If you can't do nothing else, go seek God's word and what he said about you. He's going to tell you that you are bold, you are chosen, you are loved, you are prosperous, all the things. And then take the time to do things that you enjoy, that make you feel like you. If it's going out for a walk, if it's, you mentioned being wellness, if you're into health and wellness, go do something that energizes you, that makes you feel good about you. And as you continue to work on you and you pour those good seeds into you and you water those seeds, right, they're going to start to produce great fruit. But as long as you allowing people to pour negative seeds, or you pouring negative seeds or speaking negative over yourself, then you're not gonna grow good prosperous seeds. And God's word said be fruitful and multiply. And that's not just, some people think that's just having kids and stuff. No, that is not what that is. So we have to take the time, reflect. We have to take the time to self-care. Self-care, some people think that self-care is selfish. No, it's not. You have to take the time to pour into yourself, because if you don't pour into yourself, you will not be able to pour into anybody else.
Absolutely. I I say all the time that self-care is not selfish, it's actually mandatory.
Uh-huh. It is.
It's mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
You can't pour from an empty vessel, so you
Mm-hmm.
got to take care of you. You take care of you, you can't take care of anybody else.
Amen. Amen. Um,
Yes.
I was getting ready to say I had something I was getting ready to pull up for regarding self work, but go ahead. If I find it, I'll tell you.
Okay. And so many people think that self care is, oh, I got to go get my nails done, but I don't have the money to do it. Or I got to
Nope.
go, you know, you, self care has nothing to do with that. Self
Nope.
care could be simply, and as I tell my clients, your self care could be simply taking 5 minutes to breathe
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
taking 5 minutes to listen to your favorite podcast, favorite song, whatever it is that you're going to reset, refuel, and just kind of refocus. So,
Exactly.
yes,
Exactly.
Candy. Candy said meditation. Amen. Amen.
Meditation. Yep.
Yes, yes.
And part
So,
of that also is being honest with yourself. You got to
mhm.
be honest with yourself. You have to. Whatever that looks like for you.
Now that's the truth in the how. It's the truth in the how. Because so many people have been in such a place of, how do I want to say it? They've lived a life for social media, but it's not their truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
All the
And so it's
time.
time to now be true with yourself when
Mm-hmm.
the cameras aren't rolling, when everything's off. You got to be true to you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now, what would you say about some practical steps to align with, their God-given purpose to help them get there?
Some practical steps to align with their purpose. Hmm. Practical steps to align with their purpose. Um, I would say outside of what I've already said, because the reflection, I'm gonna keep hollering reflection because that's necessary. Um, Seeking God, um, and allowing him to speak into you. One thing for me was journaling. I love journaling and writing things out. What does this word say? Write the vision, make it plain. So writing things out. And one question that I ask God all the time, I'm like, God, what is it that you want me to do? Right? Start identifying the things that bring you joy and that you're very passionate about. And then once you can kind of pinpoint what you're passionate about, whether you're getting paid for it or not getting paid for it, and then taking that, write it down, but even taking that to God and say, God, is this what you want me to do? Like, take notice of what people are coming to you for. Purpose provides a solution to something, right? And so when people are coming to you and you're providing a solution to whatever it may be, you could be in finances, you could be in coaching, like me, you could be whatever your occupation may be, or your business may be. Align that with God's plan. Like, we have all these plans, and it's okay to have plans, but ask God, is this your purpose for me? Right? And a lot of times our purpose aligns with things that we are so good at, but we are so afraid of, right? So afraid of. But I'm going to tell you to do it. Do it scared, right? Do it scared. Stepping into your purpose is scary. And it's not meant to be done alone. But guess what? You don't have to do it alone. Even Esther didn't do it alone. She had a whole community that was fasting and praying for her, but she was bold and she was humble enough to ask people for support. So I think the same thing with us. Purpose takes courage, but it also takes humility. And so we have to get over being afraid and scared, and scared to speak up and ask somebody for help. A lot of times, our purpose, God isn't gonna necessarily always give us the blueprint. Some things He's making you the blueprint for, so it won't be nothing out there that's already done that you just going to be able to come in and get this template and change it around. No, it's not. Then all of us would be robots. We would all be the same, right? So when you get it, and if God is telling you that he's purposed you to do something, or He's called you to do something, or you feel this inkling like, okay, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Ask God for confirmation. If you're afraid, He gonna tell you, He gonna send you the confirmation, but you got to listen for it. Like, give Him a chance to respond, you know, and don't be scared to pray and ask God, talk to Him like we talking right now. Listen, I'm always like, okay, God, like, I need to know this. I need you to send me confirmation on this if it's something that I'm not clear on, because God said that He will provide us wisdom and clarity, but we have to seek it, right? And so that's where I would start. Start doing those things, like I said, especially writing things down, and that way you can see it. And God may give you a word over here, or He may have somebody come and tell you this, and you're able to go back to those things and look at it and be like, oh, okay, God did tell me this. So yeah, that's where I would start.
I love it. In fact, right before you said that, was another young lady. Candy said, I've been very honest with myself journaling, and I reread what I've written, and it hit harder. Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
It really does. And one of the things I found that I used to do at the beginning of the year or the end of the year, I would write a letter to the Lord. And some of it would be some things that I wanted to be able to uh, finish or do for the
Uh-huh.
upcoming year. And many of those things, because I wrote them down, I was able to check them off. And sometimes the things that we used to do, we
Mhm.
don't do anymore. And sometimes some things it's time for us to get back to them. If they
Mhm.
work for us, it's time to get back to
Absolutely.
them. Yes, yes, and yes. So, so you have been coaching. You said you're called to women.
Yes, I am called to women, and I am a certified Christian life and relationship coach.
Yes, and congratulations,
Thank you.
congratulations on both books as well.
Thank you. Same to you. I didn't even
Thank
know you had
you.
all those books.
I have two or three ebooks, and then I have the books that I showed in the little commercial part in the very beginning. Um, but one of the things that I think people don't realize is a lot of times people see your gifting before you see it.
Oh yeah.
You know, they'll say, "Did you not realize everybody come to you? People come to
Mhm.
you," and then it makes you say, "You know, you're right." Did you start seeing that? Did you start hearing stuff like that? And people start saying, "Oh, you will say, oh my goodness, they're right." Did you get that?
I did. I did. Even the first time I can remember, ooh, I may have been in my early 20s, and I was running from my calling and everything else. Listen, I'm a PK, so listen, we used to be in church all day and night, every day, all day. And so when I got to what I thought was grown, I was like, listen, I'm not trying to do all this all the time. Right? But I would make my way into church on Sunday. And the first person that actually told me that I can remember a prophecy that has manifested so far was about me writing books. And he didn't say what I was going to write it about, but he told me I was going to be an author of books. And I've also been prophesied and told that, or spoke to, um, that I was going to help women and with various backgrounds, which is really what I'm called to. Even though I'm a certified Christian coach, I'm called to women from all different backgrounds. Right? I haven't always been saved. I know how it is to be out there, so I don't just target Christians because we need to. we need to help the unchurched, right? We're supposed to be the light and the salt of the earth. That's what God called us to be. And so, yes, I've heard that, people just gravitate to you. Shoot, my husband tells me that all the time. People tell me that all the time. Like, I just have a natural connection with people from everywhere, from all backgrounds. Um, and it's just a blessing. And I have to tell God, like, when we think about our gifts, sometimes we think that we're not enough or we're not valuable because we're not good at IT, or we're not good at finances, or we're not good at the common things that people are used to getting clout and stuff for. And you have to really sit back and think about those gifts that God gave you and go from there. Like, I have a gift of connecting with people. I do not meet a stranger. Like, I don't. It's just easy for me to talk to people and to relate to people.
I can definitely relate to that. Relate to that. Um, my daughter used to say as a little girl, one time she said to me, she was like, Mama, you know we're not supposed to talk to strangers. But I mean, people just, we'd be at the grocery store or anything, and people just start talking to me, having a full conversation,
Yes.
you know. And many times they're telling you their problems or something like that. And you're like, okay, Lord, wait a minute.
Hmm. I agree.
Wow, 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 wow. Now, for the young lady that's here, that's listening to us, whether she's listening live or she'll be listening to the replay, and she's saying, you know what? I want to start doing what you guys are saying. I'm gonna start journaling tonight. What would you tell her in that space of, okay, as you start, just
Just
right,
right.
just right,
Just right.
just
Like,
right.
when I first started journaling,
Mm-hmm.
I've always been one that'll jot stuff. I'm a note taker. I love to take notes so that I can reflect on them, right, and see what I missed. Um, but when I was going through therapy, one of my therapists told me, she says, I want you to start journaling. And I'm like, I don't, what I'm supposed to write about? So I'm gonna tell you what she told me. Just write. Like, you may start out writing about your day. Excuse me, y'all. You may start writing about your day when you wake up in the morning. What did you eat for breakfast? What did you do? How did you feel? When you go throughout your day, if something made you mad or if something triggered you, write it out. And then you're going to begin to notice those triggers, the things that triggered you, how you responded to them. And then you can reflect and say, well, what made me respond to that way? How can I flip this around and maybe deal with this and respond to it a different way, not meaning that it won't trigger you again, but you'll have a different response the next time. Or as you start writing, it helps you to become more aware of your emotions and why you have emotional responses to different things, or different things people say. It could be something that stemmed from your childhood. It could be something that you heard in school, or something that you've dealt with in a relationship, or whatever it is. But as you start to journal, and like I said, it could be just simple as writing out your day. I got up, I ate breakfast, I went to work. This is what happened at work. Today was a good day. Somebody talked to me or smiled at me or whatever. I helped somebody. Whatever it is, it's simple. It's not that hard, but it will help you when you start to do your reflections, when you're trying to find out what your purpose is, when you're trying to find out if God is speaking to you, when you're trying to find out if God has sent you a confirmation. If you're writing those things down and you reflect back on them, you're going to have some aha moments like, dang, God, you really be listening to me. Like, you sent this here on this such and such date, so it'll help you. Just start writing.
And you know what I love doing, because I love writing as well. My cousin Evangelist said the host likes taking notes too, don't you? I do. And I'm like, as we were talking about different little key things, I'm actually scribing, being the scribe, because people need to be, remember some things. Sometimes it may not stand out, but if you go back and see that note, you're like, oh yes, she said this, you know. Um, yeah, those things sometimes it help you remember it by writing it,
Hmm.
Um, and another thing, I put dates on mine because if
Oh,
God
yes.
gave me something, I got a date on it. And like when I wrote the book On Fire to Inspire, I would write the time and the date because the Lord would wake me up out my sleep and give me a word. So I wrote down the time. And
Oh,
so,
yeah. Keep that notebook by the bed.
yes, you better. Yes, yes, yes. But what would you say to the young lady that says, I just feel trapped where I am? I just feel trapped because of finances. I feel trapped because I have, small children. I feel trapped. What would you say to this person that just feels trapped in the life that she's in and she doesn't feel like she can move? What would you say to that woman?
Ooh. I would say, first of all, I've been there. But it takes you taking a step, one step at a time, right? First, you need to realize what is keeping you trapped, or what makes you think that you're trapped. Having small kids, or having kids outside of marriage, or whatever it may be, none of those things trap or put you in a trap. That's a trap that you put in your mind, right? If you've gone to God and you've repented, which means to turn away from those things, right? If you've gone to God and you've repented to those things, God is not condemning you for any of those things. A lot of times we condemn ourselves and we keep ourselves stuck because we think that we have nothing to offer, or because for me it was when I got my divorces. I'm now a divorced mother of two. Nobody's going to want anybody with kids and this and that. Those are lies that we tell ourselves. And that little enemy right there is whispering, right? He's whispering this because he know you have purpose. He know God has a calling on your life. And so anybody that he knows has purpose, right? And that God is using, he's going to continue to feed you those negative thoughts. So that's the first thing you got to do is change your mindset, right? You are not trapped. So that's the first thing you need to tell yourself, that you are not trapped. Remind yourself that God chose you on purpose for a purpose. And it's up to you to talk to God to figure out what that purpose is. You take it one day at a time. Start uncovering those layers. Start peeling. If you take a piece of fruit, start peeling those layers back one layer at a time, one layer at a time, until you feel like you can breathe. Because as long as you're instead of packing stuff on top of that, you're going to run out of breath and you're not going to be able to breathe. Take it one step at a time, and don't be afraid to get help, right? Get you somebody that can walk alongside you to help push you into your purpose, help push you out of this mindset of being trapped. Your past does not define you, right? Everything that you've gone through, God uses. He wastes nothing. So he's going to use everything that you've gone through for whatever your purpose is. And I need you to remember that, and get somebody to hold you accountable, right? You start taking it one day at a time. Get you an accountability partner, a prayer partner, and start talking to God. Start praying, and praying that he changes or renews that mindset that you have, because you're not trapped.
Thank you so much. As I shared that, someone confirmed on YouTube that they felt that way right after I said it. But I know there was a pulling, and I felt it, and
Mhm,
so
mhm.
I praise God for the obedience of me sharing that part.
Yes.
Another thing is self-talk. What are
Mm.
you saying to yourself? How do you see yourself? And one of my prayers when I lost me in my toxic um, one of my prayers was, God, help me to see me the way you see me.
Yes,
I no
yes.
longer saw me that way. God,
Mhm,
help me
mhm,
see me the way you see me because I didn't
mhm,
see me like that anymore.
mhm.
So for you that says, I feel trapped, remind yourself that you're his daughter.
Yes.
That you're the apple of his eye. He's
Mhm.
chosen you, as Shakela has said. And as Esther, for such a time as this,
Yes, yes.
for such a time as this. And so just reflect on the goodness. He's been that good God that's been there for you in the
Hmm.
past. And I promise you, he'll continue to walk with you. But you got to stop telling yourself those negative narratives and stop
Hmm.
speaking to yourself the way others have spoke to you.
Exactly. Exactly. Even when I mentioned the affirmations earlier, y'all, when I tell you I have listen, I'm pulling off of my computer. I have affirmations everywhere. Affirmations are little self-talk, little just like little bullets, little words. Like for this one, it says, "I am a coach. I am here to serve, and I am a vessel for positive change." Right? You have to keep planting those good seeds, right? Keep
Yeah,
planting those things that you know are true. The truth is gonna circumvent the lies any and every time. So you continue to speak to yourself, continue to speak life in yourself into yourself. And for those days that you feel like you can't, that's what those stickies are for. Put them on your mirror. I have my daughter. She's a college student. One of my daughters. She takes a dry erase marker and she writes it on her mirror. So if you need to take that and write it on your mirror in the bathroom, so you can see that every day, write it on there, because you have to start taking care of you. You can't offer your kids anything or anybody else until you take care of you. So you, again, you are not stuck. You are not stuck. Get somebody to walk with you. And if you don't have nobody, call me, contact me. I will help walk you through this and help you get out of this stage. But you have to get somebody that's going to help, because as I stated earlier, Esther didn't do it alone, and baby girl, you don't have to do it alone either.
absolutely. Yes, yes, and yes. Um, Another thing that we're helping somebody tonight because when I tell you there's a pulling, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I could not do
Mm-hmm.
uh, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, is look myself in the mirror and say, girl, you got it going on. Girl, I love you. And
Mm-hmm.
I want you may not be able to do that right now, but I want you to attempt to do it every day until you can do it. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you can tell you, girl, I love you, girl,
Mm-hmm.
you got it going on,
Mm-hmm.
then as you continue to do that, it's a reminder of
Mm-hmm.
how much he loves you. It's a
Yeah.
reminder,
Yes.
you know. Great evening, everybody, as you're joining us. If y'all miss any of this conversation, y'all got to catch the replay because I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. But yes, I mean, oh goodness. But yeah, if there's anything else you're feeling to share, Shakila, just do that. I'm just kind of like getting a feel for what's needed right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of flowing right now.
Just hanging right here for a moment. Even when you talk about that mirror, y'all, looking in that mirror is something so serious. um Even at at just about every event that I have, and some platforms that I speak on, it just depends on what the platform is. I have the women to do a mirror exercise. And the reason that I have them do a mirror exercise, and I title it "The Me I Couldn't See," because a lot of times, as you stated, a lot of times we can't see ourselves in that mirror. And when we look in that mirror, we see sometimes we think the mirror is lying to us because we see the fear, the shame, the hurt, the disappointment, the failures, right? But again, you have to remind yourself of the truth. A lot of times we put on, the makeup, the lashes, we get our hair done, we get our nails done, we put on our little clothes and things, and we make ourselves look so good on the inside, but on the outside, but on the inside, we are unraveling because of that fear, because of that humility, because of that rejection, because of the disappointments, the failures, the shame, right? Everything, as I stated, that we've done, everything is not wasteful to God. And so you don't have to be shameful of your past. You don't have to be shameful of anything that you have done. What matters is, what am I doing for the present, in the present and the future, right? How am I going to take my past, my pain, and turn it into purpose? All that pain, the shame, the fear, the broken relationships, the cycles, all that was to catapult you into your future and into your purpose, right? As soon as you accept it, reflect and accept it, the sooner you can move forward. But you gotta deal with it. And sometimes dealing with it hurts, right? It hurts, but it only hurts for a moment, right? Tears may come, but guess what? Joy is going to come in the morning, right? So it may hurt, it may be painful, but the pain doesn't last, right? But you have to deal with it, because unresolved pain and issues, they're not going to go away. You're just going to cover them up until something exposes them, and then you're worse off. So look in that mirror, write on that mirror, remind yourself of who you are, even if you don't believe it. Say it enough times till you start believing it, right? Say it enough times till you start believing it. um, and just remind yourself that you are beautiful and you are beautifully and wonderfully made, right? God doesn't break us to hurt us. He doesn't cause us to break to so that we can be hurt and around here crying. No, he doesn't. Tasha Cobbs wrote a song that says he gracefully breaks us, right? And sometimes he doesn't necessarily bring the situation to us. Some things we cause on ourselves, but he brings us out. He brings us out to give a testimony to somebody else. Always remember, your story is not for you, it's to help somebody else. So the sooner you learn how to deal with the thing that you're struggling with, you're going to be able to help somebody else. And you never know, y'all might be walking through this thing together and helping each other out. You know, whether you look like you got it going on or whether you don't, or you feel like you don't have it going on, y'all may be helping each other out. So look in that mirror, get somebody that's going to pour into you and that's going to remind you of who you are, and what God has called you to do, and take it day by day.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I love it. Dr. Lorenda is a grief counselor, and she said, handle your grief. There is hope. Nothing is impossible.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes, nothing is impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the portion of starting that journal and starting to journal your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, everything. And then as you're honest with yourself, you'll start seeing, that like Shakela just said, that short term inconvenience and discomfort,
Mm-hmm.
but long term joy, because your
Yeah.
joy is now going to be, excuse me, in God and where He's called you to, not focused on a thing or a feeling, but you're focused on Him and the purpose and the plan for your life. So yes, 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 yes.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
Absolutely, yes. I hope that's helping those who were responding in YouTube land, as well as and actually on all three platforms. I hope that's helping you. Let me see if I can catch some of these other things that were said. Um, and like I said, I'm a scribe. I don't even typing so much. Um, yeah, some people were saying they love the journaling part.
Mm-hmm.
Speak life to yourself, absolutely. And the Staples button, the that was easy, right? Remember the little easy button that Staples had?
Oh, yes, yes, the red button.
The red button that said that was easy. Well, when people have stuff that they don't agree with, even a mindset
Uh-huh.
or a thought coming to their mind, I say think about that book, right? I mean, that button,
Red
and
button.
instead of saying easy, it says reject, and you say
Uh,
reject that. So you hit your spiritual reject button
uh-huh.
and
I
say
love
reject
it.
it because that
I
don't
love
belong to
it.
me. So
Yeah.
when the Lord gave me that one night on one of the shows, I was like, y'all, you got to hit your spiritual reject button because that thought don't belong to you. That lie doesn't belong to you.
Yeah.
Anything that does not come in agreement with what the Lord has said about
It.
you, hit that spiritual reject button.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh yeah. And you mentioned mindset again. And I know we were talking about self-worth, reflection, which is self-awareness. Um, a lot of times self-awareness, if we practice it, that's how we can begin to reset our minds, right? So yes, when something comes at you and it's causing you to act outside of character or what have you, reject that. But in our one way that we can start with self-awareness and doing a reset of our mind, because as I stated, everything starts with resetting the mind, right? Set your intentions, write a declaration of transformation, journal as we stated, identify a limiting belief that you need to let go of and replace it with an empowering thought, right? And so that's when you get those limiting beliefs, right? Picture that little red button that she's talking about and hit that thing to reject that thought and replace that with an empowering thought. Then you can start by writing out some stuff that you're thankful for, right? That will always help to
Yes.
shift your atmosphere, to shift your mood. Because as you start thinking about what you're grateful for, sometimes I even have to go back and I'll be like, well, God, I thank you for my senses. I thank you for the ability to touch, feel, see, taste, smell. Because some people aren't, they don't have that, right? And so we have to be grateful for the small things as well as the big things. And so try those things when it comes to resetting that mind, dealing with self-awareness. And when those thoughts, those negative thoughts or those negative seeds try to be planted, hit that red button as she stated and reject that thing on up out of there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I know this helping somebody tonight because it's blessing me. And I just kind of, I'm feeling everything y'all are feeling tonight. Y'all are just pulling on me. Whew. um, even in the things that you chose, but God didn't choose for you. He said, I knew you were going to do it. I knew you were going to choose that, but
Hmm.
yet I still choose you. He's
Hmm.
an unconditional God and He unconditionally loves you. So,
Yes.
regardless of the choices you made, they might have been some of the dumbest things you ever done in your
I'm trying
life.
to tell you.
But He said, I knew you were going to choose that. I knew you were going to do it, and I still love you no less.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
still love you no less. That's a different kind of love.
I'm telling you,
That's
that's
a
that
different.
unconditional, selfless love that he gives us, even when we aren't faithful to him. He's like, listen, you still my child. And
You're
he gives
right.
us a chance after chance after chance after chance to get it right. And I'm so thankful he
Yeah.
don't just leave us out there to deal with the things that we put the situations we've placed ourselves in. So
Hmm.
thankful for that.
Yes. And when you get tired of being tired, on another level of getting tired of being tired.
Hmm.
Shakila, when I got tired of being tired on
Hmm.
another level, I
Hmm.
started telling the Lord, you know what? I know you give me free will, but I relinquish my free will to you. So everything that I
That's
did
it.
was in your permissive will, which when I exercised my free will. So now I want to operate in your perfect will. So
Mhm.
let everything I don't want my permissive will anymore. I
Come
don't want
on.
my free will. I want your will. And when I started praying like that and I started telling myself that, I started operating in a way that was more in alignment with the purpose and the plan.
Mhm.
Because,
I
honey,
love.
when we talk crazy and going crazy and listening to crazy, that's what you're going to get, crazy. But when you're speaking positive and you have positive people in your ear and you have people that are lifting you up and you're lifting them up, and it's like, even with friendships, you got to be equally yoked with your
Mhm.
friends because they're
Absolutely.
speaking life or death. There's no in between.
Mhm. It's in this right here. And so that's why it's important. And I'm always like, God, speak through me, or Holy Spirit, speak through me and guide my tongue, because Shakela might not say something nice, if somebody cut me off in traffic or whatever. So I gotta tell the Lord to speak through me, like mute me if I'm saying something I'm not supposed. Just mute me. Just let me not even get the sentence out right. I'm always constantly telling him to change my mindset, shift my mindset, focus my mindset on the things that you want me to do. And it's about a complete surrender to God. Like, everything I am constantly saying, Lord, I surrender my life to you, my heart, my mind, my speech. I submit my businesses, my children, my marriage, everything, my career. It's submitted to you, because I want to be in alignment with what you want me to do, with your whatever your purpose is for my life. And sometimes we say those things, and we don't really mean it, but I really mean it when I say it to him. And God knows your heart, right? He
Yes.
knows your heart, and as you stated, He knows what you're gonna do it before you do it. So you're not you're not surprising God. He already know. He already know you was gonna do that late night phone call. He already know you was gonna do this, that, and the third. He already knows. Just ask Him for forgiveness and don't do it again. Okay? It don't mean keep repeating it. It mean turn away from.
Right, right. I tell you, wow, wow, wow. Ooh, this has been awesome, but I know you have an early day, or a long day,
I
long
do.
morning. So I want you to, if there are any final words that you would like to leave for us, as well as sharing how we can follow you as well.
Yes, ma'am. So again, thank you. This has been a pleasure. It has warmed my heart and spirit. One thing I want to remind each of you is you were crowned for a purpose. So now you just go walk boldly in it, right? Again, I am Shakela T. Matthews. You can connect with me at Keela, Kelat, Writes, WRITES.com. Also at Keela T. Rice on IG.
All right, all right. So y'all here, if y'all missed any of the podcast, then you want to definitely go. Okay, we got another young lady over on YouTube said, I appreciate you, ladies. This was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank y'all for all who have shared. Thank you all for listening. Y'all do me a favor. Y'all share this into someone, because you know somebody that needs to hear this. And Shakela brought us nuggets. She shot some darts at some things that were trying to keep y'all held hostage, but she shot them darts and she took them down. So,
That's
Shakela,
right.
thank you again tonight for sharing with us. We appreciate you. Blessings to you, and we'll see you soon, prayerfully.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. You all have a blessed evening.
You as well.
Thank you.
So, y'all, I thank God for the opportunity to have interviewed her tonight. Thank you so much, Lisa. So, y'all, make sure y'all so listen to someone. Someone needs to hear this. Someone needs to be reminded that they're the apple of our daddy's eye. That everything that they've done, God's not going to, He's going to use it. It's not going to be, something that you just did. Guess what? He's going to use it for His glory. He said, I'm still going to get the glory out of this. And so, as you continue to remind yourself of who you are in Him, regardless of what you've done, if you've given your life to Him, guess what? When you've confessed and you repented, guess what? The enemy can't hold you hostage to your past no more, baby. No. So, y'all, we will be back same time, same place next week on Friday Inspire. I am Aleigha, the Purpose Midwife. Thank y'all again for joining us. Go over on YouTube to Aleigha, the Purpose Midwife, and share, subscribe, like, and share something that stood out to you or spoke to you tonight. Thank y'all again for joining us. Love y'all. Have a blessed week.